Today we flew in a Diamond DA-40. It's a modern composite aircraft, so it's built out of modern materials. It has a very modern shape, as you can tell. It flies with a electronic type of cockpit that's architected more like the kind of stuff that we produce. And it's just a good balance of performance, has great visibility, and a really, really good safety record. Like a lot of kids, I've always been interested in airplanes ever since I was a little kid. But I grew up and decided to be a software developer initially. And the industry that I sort of stumbled into was telecommunications. And at the time I got started, phone systems were really expensive. They were very proprietary, and they were dominated by giant companies who had convinced the world that they were the only ones that could build phone systems. As a, young college student, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go build a company. I need a phone system. They were expensive. I said, I'm just gonna create my own, and went off and did that. And after a couple years, realized that the original business I was trying to do around tech support was not the thing anybody cared about. They all cared about this phone system software that I had made. Refocused the company around that. So I decided to go off and learn how to fly. And once I kind of got into that, as a software guy, I thought, man, this software could just be so much better. There's so many ways I'd like to make it better. Why don't I go try to do the same thing that I did in telecom in this avionics space? And that's kind of how I got started with Aviation. I think that software development, software engineering is part science and part art. It's a lot like being a composer of music. You can teach people really good technique, but there is a certain skill set that just comes from people being creative. And when you're in the software space, particularly in the space that we're in, I always say we're looking for software artisans, where it's not just about cranking out software as fast as you can, but rather about going back and spending lots of time taking something that you made last year and making it just a little bit better, and figuring out how to make it a little bit safer and how to make it a little better tested and so on, that you're really crafting this very, very perfect piece of software that's really, really small. And that's kind of the focus of particularly the kind of stuff that we do. The other thing I say about software is it's one of the few areas where you can do so much on your own. You don't have to be, through a college degree before you can make software that is meaningful. And even here and at my previous company at Digium, we had a mix of people who had degrees and people who just grew up playing with computers and learned software on their own and brought a level of creativity to be able to do that. I'm Mark Spencer with Aviation, and I hope you have a great year of aviation.